of news. Of course, we are celebrating the birth of Ghana's first president. We start with that, and we're telling you more of how the country, across the 16 regions, we are celebrating the birth of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Ghanaians are celebrating Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day today. It is a day set aside to remember and honor the country's first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The statutory public holiday followed the passage of the Public Holiday Amendment Bill into law in March 2019. Dr. Nkrumah became the leader of the government business in 1951 after leading the CPP to victory to form a government, a process which eventually led the Gold Coast to independence from British rule in 1957. He also played a key role in the formation of the then Organization of African Unity, OAU. As the leader of the country, Dr. Nkrumah led massive socio-economic development that resulted in a number of infrastructural projects, including the construction of the Kosombo Dam, the Tama Motorway, among other projects. Dr. Nkrumah was born at Nkrofo in the Western region on September 21, 1909. As time passed, he was accused of being a dictator and also forming a one-party state in 1964 with himself as president for life. He was overthrown by the military in 1966 and spent his last years in exile, dying in Bucharest, Romania on April 27, 1972. Well, GBC News saw the views of members of, the citizens on how they are celebrating this great day in the nation's history. Let's take a listen to that.
As a young child, I knew in school about President Nkrumah, and I never thought I'd have the privilege to be here on this special day in Ghana. As I said, as a South African, we've had President Nelson Mandela, who is also the same for us.
He was a man of determination. He was a man who had vision for Ghana, and I believe this day should be a reminder of what he had in mind for Ghana. And I believe our leaders, our current leaders, will also learn something from him.
My father used to work with Modibo Keita. I grew up with all this friendship between Modibo Keita, Sekou Touré, and Kwame Nkrumah. I consider them like my father. So because of that, today it was very important for me to come to visit again this memorial.
Really, really grateful to him for the Kosombo Dam, because without him, I think we would all be in darkness today. And I'm so grateful and thankful to him. Wherever he is, I say God will bless him for building us such a dam and also powering Accra and Ghana in all.
He's a very big man who promotes the unite of Africa and the respect of black power.
It's my first time in Ghana. I'm visit the Memorial Park of Kwame Nkrumah.
I'll vote for Nkrumah again and again because of his leadership and then his achievement for Ghana. If Nkrumah should wake up again, I'll vote for him and even we should be like him. Yeah.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, his hometown is in Nkrofo, in Zuma, in the Western region. He was the first president of Ghana.
When did Kwame Nkrumah take independence from Ghana?
6th of March, 1957.
Still on the Nkrumah Memorial Day, we go over to the northern region where Murtala Isa, GBC News correspondent, has been observing activities on how the holiday is being marked in the northern regions of the country. Murtala, glad you could join us. Can you tell us how the regions of the north are celebrating this important day in Ghana's history?
So I'm currently coming to you from location in Tamale. and I've been observing the situation just across the Tamale metropolis and then the Sanarugu municipality. People are generally just relaxing under trees and in front of their houses and stores, just relaxing and reflecting on the day. There's no special activity for adults to go out there and mark the day. But I know that there's a program for children at an area called Magnolia on the Bolga Highway, where school children have gathered to celebrate the day and to entertain themselves.
Mutala, Dr. Nkrumah was keen on bridging the gap in terms of development between the regions of the north and that of the south. What are some of the legacies as far as the project that he embarked or executed in the regions of the north?
Perhaps Nkrumah's greatest legacy for northern Ghana has to do with the parliamentary act that made education free for people or residents of northern Ghana, the northern territories. That scholarship has been in place until the current administration introduced the free senior high school policy. Most students in northern Ghana were not paying fees until this. And so this was the initiative of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah way back in the 50s, and it was meant to bridge the educational gap, the development gap, and other gaps that existed between northern Ghana and southern Ghana. He also contributed immensely towards the development of infrastructure, colleges, and basic schools were increased. I know of Tamale Senior High School, we know of certain colleges around that. Nkrumah played a significant role in building these colleges. Now, let's also look at the side of tourism. If you go to Napanduri, there's this area, that's the Nkrumah guest house, which is been abandoned. The last time I went there, I was quite disappointed. It is located on a plateau, on a scarp, I beg your pardon. And while on that scarp, you could see as far as Togo, you can see as far as Burkina Faso. And it is on a very beautiful landscape. Unfortunately, the place has been abandoned. Kwame Nkrumah was supposed to come and commission that project while coming through the Upper East region, Kulungungu. Unfortunately, the people waited and waited and waited. Nkrumah never turned up because he was bombed while in Kulungungu. I was in Kulungungu a couple of months back, and I saw the statue of Kwame Nkrumah not in a very good taste. And I want to believe that the Ghana Tourism Authority will do something better to improve on that statue at Kulungungu, because it marks a very important part of Ghana's history in terms of Nkrumah's legacy in this country.
Mutala, glad you could join us with the latest from the northern region.
If I may add, there are certain parts of northern Ghana that essentially were part of German Togoland, and these parts were added to Ghana because, again, of Nkrumah's strong initiatives. So without Nkrumah, there are certain parts of Ghana today we call the eastern corridor of the northern side of northern Ghana. I want to believe that these parts would have been part of the present Togo and not Ghana.
Thank you so much, Mutala, for that piece of information regarding the celebration of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's birthday. We are looking at the many things that the former president, the first president of Ghana, did to bring socio-economic development to the country. Let's cross over to the Upper East region, where Samuel Ayama has also sent a report on the Kulungungu bomb sites, as just indicated by Murtala Isa from the northern region.
As tourism gradually takes center stage in the country's foreign exchange earnings, one key touristic attraction that could rake in fortunes for the country but has been neglected is the Kulungungu bomb site. The historic site is where, in the heat of Ghana's First Republic, some disgruntled persons unsuccessfully attempted bombing the first president of Ghana, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, since 1st August 1962, when the incident took place at Kulugungu in the then Upper region, and now the Pusiga district in the Upper East region of Ghana. The site has not received any proper attention from the Ministry of Tourism, even though it has high tourism potentials. A miniature statue was erected by the Youth Association several years ago at Kulugungu to earmark the site for memorial purposes, but it has since been destroyed by thunderstorm and nobody seems to care about it. The Kulugungu community, which is also a frontier between neighboring Burkina Faso, could be developed into a big tourism attraction center to serve as a revenue base for the Pusiga District Assembly to augment its revenue generation. GBC News quest to unearth untapped tourism potentials in the Upper East region as part of activities marking the birthday of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah came to conclusion that the Pusiga District Assembly, the Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism and the private sector could collaborate to turn the area into a major tourism hub. Mr. Adamu Dugums, a resident of Kulugungu, said several appeals made to successive governments to give the site a facelift has not been successful.
Several governments came in and we made appeals for the place to be developed, to attract tourists and then to fetch revenue in the district. But we don't know whosoever will help us. The sitting government, the sitting president has been here twice to witness everything. And he has been given the second chance. We don't know what he is thinking about. So we are appealing to those who can help us, especially the MPs, the chiefs of the country, and then the sitting president, so that the place can be developed. You've seen how the road network is.
Madam Amina Adams and Yusuf Yaya expressed worry about the bad road network linking the suburbs of Kulugungu.
Any year at all, Kulugungu will always be remembered. So we are appealing to the government to please come and then have a look of the road and then support us with it. Because this road has led to so many countries like Burkina, Togo and Mali. And this is a very same road that generates revenue to the nation. So in fact, a lot of us are losing our lives as a result of the nature of the road.
Mr. Benjamin Anafo is the Upper East Regional Secretary of the Convention People's Party and also the 2020 parliamentary candidate for the CPP in the Zebila constituency.
We know that in Ghana, tourism is something that can earn us foreign exchange. Their appeal, we have not heard anything from them, and I want to also add my voice to it because it is something that is making Ghana proud, even though the bumper of Kwame Nkrumah is not something that we want. But once he was bombed there, or they attempted to assassinate him there by bumping him, and it was not successful, at least the place needs some development, or the place needs to be looked at once again, so that people who are not in Ghana, or people who are even within Ghana and want to know where Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was bombed, they can go and have a feel of it.
One major issue the news team observed is the bad road network linking the suburbs of Kulugungu. For GBC News, Samuel Ayama reporting, Kulugungu.
Now, if he were alive, he will turn 112 on Tuesday, September 21, 2020. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was Ghana's first democratically elected leader. Several myths we know surround his birth and life as well. Ever heard of the magical river? Legend has it that presidents under the Fourth Republic who took a dip in its waters were able to win the election for their party. And Dr. Nkrumah is believed to have taken a swim in this river whenever he visited home. We'll now take you to Nkrofo, the prominent birthplace of the independence icon in the Western region.
This is Nkroffo's version of the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, built by General Kutu Champon in the 70s in honor of the Sajifo. Welcoming visitors and tourists at the hallway are some of the famous quotes of the Pan-Africanist.
We shall measure our progress by the improvement in the health of our people, by the number of children in school, by the quality of their education, by the availability of water, how the people feel comfortable.
21st September 1909, the hero of independence was born here in Krofo, in the Lembele district of the Western region. 13 of mud structures and artifacts are designed to depict the rural nature of the then Gold Coast, though some were the original items used by the household, preserved till date.
So this is Mamenya kitchen, and these are some of the original utensils that the mother was using. So the utensils were many, but when they were exhuming the body to Accra, they took some of the utensils along. So it was 23 things that was left here. And we have the oven that she used to smoke her fish.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land.
First was the room Dr. Kwame Nkrumah shared with his mother, Madame Nyaniba, during his presidency, which still houses his original spring bed.
And some of his staffs were here, that is his trunk, his coat, his working stick. All of them were here, but when the soldiers came for the body, they took all away to Accra. So it was only the bed that was left here.
In some of the day's other story, some public sector workers in the northern region took to the streets today to mount pressure on the leadership of the Trades Union Congress to go back and renegotiate the salary increment announced by government 3 months ago. The workers say the 4% and 7% increment for the 2021 and 2022 respectively are unacceptable and blame the leadership of the TUC for failing to strongly represent workers in the country. The workers marched through some principal streets of the northern regional capital, Tamale, and finally converged at the Jubilee Park. My colleague from the region, Murtala Isa, has been following up on the development and joins us on the line with more details from this event. Murtala, what exactly were the demands of these workers?
So basically, they want the 4% and 7% increment for 2021 and 2022 to be scrapped up and a new negotiation initiated to bring them up. They said they are disappointed in the leadership of TUC and organized labor generally, and they think that the 4% and 7% for next year is a slap in the face of workers in this country. The secretary for the coalition, Mr. Salam, indicated that to have accepted 7% increment for 2022 without knowing the budget for 2022 is an unacceptable situation, and that what happens if government decides to increase taxes at a rate that it consumes completely the 7% increment. So they are calling basically on organized labor to go back to the negotiating table.
What has been the reaction from the leadership of the organized labor in the region?
So some of them did not turn up for this demonstration, but the feeling I get from speaking with some people is that they indirectly are supporting the sense of disappointment that these guys came out there to demonstrate over, but they did not join with the demonstration.
So what would be their next line of action if their plea is not granted?
The main pressure is on the leadership of organized labor, and gauging from what I observed about a month ago when the leadership of PSWU came to the northern region, I want to believe that there is gradual distrust growing between the leadership of labor and the general workforce. And I remember at that committee meeting in the northern region about a month ago with the general secretary, his deputy, and some other executives present, they rejected outright the percentage increment and questioned why organized labor or leadership would go out there and accept this percentage increment. So there's that growing distrust, and the workers mainly are looking up to their leadership to go back to government and do the right thing.
Murtala, are they abreast with the explanation given by government at the time the increment was announced, that as a result of COVID-19, revenue streams have dried up, therefore government could not increase the salaries of the workers to the usual level, where we are seeing 10% and 11%, at least when you study the trends?
We pointed this out to some of the demonstrators and asked them why. They indicated that if indeed COVID-19 has affected revenue, then the increment at 4% and 7% should cut across. But they are quite disappointed that the executive have increased their salaries at such a high rate, whilst the general workforce, who bear most of the brunt of this increment in taxes, are left at this very low level. So they are calling for equity when it comes to salary increment as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Murtala Isa is our Northern Regional Correspondent. In Takoradi, hundreds of residents of the Western region are participating in the Fix the Country demonstration in the region. The leadership of the Fix the Country and participants called on the government to fix the governance system, corruption, unemployment and kidnappings in the Sekendita Kradi metropolis. Joining us on phone for more on this is Desmond Kujo, our regional correspondent. Desmond, thank you so much for your time and following up on the issue. Has the protest ended?
Yes, the protest actually ended in Sekendi, and Nama, which is closer to the Neva quarters in Sekendi, where they were addressed by all the various leaders, including Ernesto Usuabua, Oksechi, Afifa Minsa, and others, and they spoke about their passion on the need for the government to fix the country. So as I speak now, yes, proceedings have come to an end.
Did they present a petition to authorities?
No petition was presented. What they did was that they just spoke to the people, the demonstrators who were mainly in yellow and red T-shirts with the face of in front of the T-shirts. They spoke to them, explained to them the need for the people to impress the government to fix the country, because there are a myriad of issues that confront the people, particularly the youth. And they mentioned the poor road network that we have, particularly in the western region, unemployment situation, kidnappings, the infamous Takrade kidnapping, 4 missing girls, and the recent one where a pregnant woman was also reportedly missing, who was recently found. So these are some of the issues that the people talked about, as well as the governance system. They need to fix it to be responsive to the needs of the people.
Thank you so much. Desmond Kujo is our correspondent in the Western region. In Accra on Monday, a seminar was held to discuss and draw up a plan to achieve the national goal of effectively financing science research and development in Ghana. The one-day program was a collaborative session by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology, and agencies whose mandate specifically borders on science and technology.
In Ghana, most research institutes are funded by their internally generated funds, donors and successive governments. This, many say, is a strain on their already scarce funds. To discuss the way forward on funding to support science and research, discussions took place on the general overview on Ghana's science, technology and innovation framework, bridging science and development, and commercialization of research outputs. The chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Emmanuel Mafo, said accurate data must be developed to improve on science and research. This is because science is a great contributor to the nation's socio-economic development and must be funded adequately.
The time has come for us to begin that conversation, to think through and to provide solid data so that the government and those who manage the finances of this country will come to appreciate exactly what the contributions are.
The Deputy Director General of Research and Development at CSIR, Professor Paul Bosu, said CSIR has developed good agricultural practices. He gave examples as the climate-specific crop varieties and pest-resistant crop varieties. However, the minimum 1% of GDP pledged by government, which is allocated for research and development, science, technology and innovation, is inadequate.
As far as funding is concerned, I wouldn't deny that MAG has supported us, but we need more.
The Parliamentary Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology met with the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, National Regulatory Authority, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission and the National Biosafety Commission. For GBC News, Yaira Lawe reporting.
Now it is a new dawn for electric vehicles. Here in Ghana, Solar Taxi is assembling electric solar cars locally to meet the day-to-day transportation needs. The added attraction is that Solar Taxi gives Ghanaian women the opportunity to break gender norms. Described as the stroke of a genius, this is Ghana's maiden all-female engineering firm creating green solutions for the automobile industry. Solar Taxi is Africa's premier company to commercialize electric vehicles on large-scale adoption, and it's on track to provide 10 million electric vehicles by 2030. Reports by Shelley Bewa.
Introduced more than 100 years ago, electric cars are seeing a rise in popularity today for many of the same reasons they were first popular. Electric vehicles are not just the wave of the future, they are saving lives today. Here in Ghana, Solar Taxi is the trailblazer.
In our economy, close to about 70% of the economic activity depends on transportation. The transportation sector is the only sector when there's a slightest increase in fuel, it affects everything from food costs to even education, healthcare, everything get affected. So the idea was to find a sustainable means of transportation that will help to deal with something like that. So we brought our first prototype in 2018. And then we move on to scaling that up from 2019, late 2019, we moved to Accra. And then, we are now operating in Accra, Kumasi, Takrade, Tamale.
Our first prototype that we came out with had a solar panel directly on top of it, okay, whereby the solar panel directly, charges the battery, and then the car can move. And that was very successful. And based on that, we had, we were able to secure our funding from MasterCard Foundation. But aside from that, we also have the purely electric cars. So we have two models, the one that has a solar panel directly on top, and then the one that's electric, fully electric. Yeah.
Solar Taxi assembles a variety of vehicle options, including motorcycles, tricycles, sedans, hatchbacks, and SUVs. It also provides charging points and maintenance for electric vehicles. Embracing gender equality and inclusion, its staff comprises 80% women.
I've been working here for the past two years, some few months, and it has been an amazing one because I've realized that working in the engineering field has to do with continuous learning. We are learning every day, and we dealing with electric cars is something that is new in this country.
Solar Taxi actually gave us the opportunity to come to this noble firm to come and learn more about the engineering field as an aspiring engineer. So I'm still learning. It's been 6 months working with Solar Taxi, and it has been interesting.
We have also set up the Female Engineering Academy, which has already trained over 60 female engineers on how to assemble solar-powered vehicles. The best part about the project is that these electric vehicles are not charged by our traditional source of electricity, but rather solar hubs built by the organization to provide the electrical power needed to charge these vehicles.
We've already mapped out places in the country whereby we put charging stations over there. And now these charging stations will not only be on the grid, we also have solar panels directly on top of them. That powers the charging station so that it can also power the car. And these are some of the things that we are doing to be able to mitigate the challenges of power in Ghana.
Solar Taxi is all about using clean, renewable energy to solve problems. Utilizing solar power is a perfect fit for Ghana because the country is set to receive 1,800 to 3,000 hours of sun annually. In addition, electric vehicles produce fewer carbon emissions than standard vehicles. The progress of Solar Taxi brings Ghana closer to its goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 15% by 2030.
The opportunity to go green is an urgent call, and yes, the economic benefit is real too, but we need to create an economy that is also sustainable, economy that doesn't pollute for us to survive, economy that we don't need to increase pollution for us to grow or prosper, so that we can enjoy our wealth and prosperity in good health.
Started in September 2018, it was launched by Kumasi Hive in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. Now, there's a way to commute responsibly and even cheaper. The future is most certainly electric. For GBC News, Shelley Bewa reporting.
The future is as well female. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amakota, has given assurance that roads that were washed away during the torrential rains in the Upper West region will be fully fixed after the rainy season. He said the roads that are being fixed now are temporal and will help ease pressure on commuters and allow commercial activities to function. The sector minister is on an inspection tour of ongoing infrastructural projects in the region.
On August 12th this year, torrential rains washed off many roads, including the Nadoli-Laura Hamley Highway. Movement of goods and services were affected, leading to hike in prices. The government, however, mobilized 50 million Ghana cedis for road contractors to fix the roads. The Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amakota, is in the region to inspect the progress of work. He inspected the Yiziri and Gori-Yiri portions of the Nadoli-Laura Hamley Road, the Dong-Dafiema Road and the Dafiema-Olufian Road. The road minister commended the contractors for working within time to ensure free flow of goods and services.
On behalf of the President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo and his government, that the pledge that he made to you through me, the roads linking Wa to Nadori, Wa to Hamele, Wa to Laura, Wa to Dirapa, and from Dion on the Dabina Road have all been fixed. And connected for economic activities to resume.
Earlier, the minister and his team called on the overlord of the Wala traditional area, Naf Hussein Isipopo. The overlord thanked the minister for living up to his words. Jimpena Ibrahim Kadir is the spokesperson for the overlord. In appreciation for his efforts, the Roads and Highways Minister was enskinned with the title Yuri Malbona, which literally means Development Chief.
Some beautiful pictures there. Now, Google has been associated with Fulani herdsmen in the past, but that's the unenviable part of its story. Agogo is a beautiful town in the Ashanti region, and it is actually a naturally walled town, and for many, it is a home away from home. And this report will share with you part of its beautiful history.
From oral history, we are told that in the 1600s, two elders from the Asuna clan by name Edrako and Frimponeko and some female family members migrated from a village called Akwokari to this village now called Agogo. Akwokari is in the Bekwai area of the Ashanti region, and since there were no vehicles back in the day, these elders, locally known as Nananum, walked all the way from Akwokari to Agogo. As they walked through the forest, climbing hills and mountains, they came to meet a clean stream which was very cool and refreshing. They exclaimed in the local parlance that, ya bre, ya go, meaning we are weak, tired and exhausted. This is because they had run out of water and food for a while. They then quenched their thirst with the refreshing water. That is how Agogo derived its name from Agogoa. Due to the conducive nature of this place, they made their abode. The Achiamehene to the Omahene of the Agogo traditional area, and Abuachi Yadom, accompanied by the Konte Hene and Akwemu Hene, walked us through the history of how Agogo came by its name.
According to history, it was a very small stream, but then it was surrounded by trees, and then it was very cold and it could quench your thirst. So when they sat beside it, they gave it a name that it should be called Agogowa. In Twi, when you say something is wa, or you give a name and then you add wa to it, it means small. So it was a small stream. 50
years later, another group of people from the Edwina clan also arrived in Agogoa to join the Asuna clan family. In the course of their stay, they intermarried, and that increased their population.
These people who came at first were Asuna clan, from the Asuna clan. So it took about 50 years for the Adriana clan to also arrive here. But then when they came, they had a lot of men. And then they took these women who had arrived earlier as wives.
Agogo is a full-grown state with a population of about 90,000. The community has several towns and villages under it. The people celebrate the Akweja Siakwine Festival, which is a festival of peace, thanksgiving, love and harmony among the communities. Until recently, another festival, which is called Plantain Festival, celebrated in October, is being introduced. The Plantain Festival was introduced by the Omanhene of the Agogo traditional area, Nanakwame Akwo-Kosapon, who has reigned as a paramount chief for 43 years.
The full report will be aired later. Let's now go for a break. We'll return with business.